do another layout. This one was one that I decided to just, it's in super fast forward because I've left everything in there, but it's just one of those ones where I wanted to just play with my products and get a little bit fiddly. So pretty much, what can I say? Hang on. Let's just talk about the elephant in the room. Have a guess what I just did. I've just realized that yesterday I did a layout share of my Smasher Pad series. So I did both books, both 6x6 paper pads that I've done, both the Welcome Fall one and the other one, whatever it's called, Ink Drops Candy one, the Craft Consortium paper. I recorded them, I voice-overed them, I did everything. And in my haste this morning, because I had to take Angela for blood tests and all that sort of stuff, which is usual standard 3-monthly procedure for her, and somehow I've deleted it. I don't know what I was thinking. Now I've got to do it again. That's okay. It is coming. I have had people ask for it. It is coming. I will have to do it again. I did it yesterday, but I'll do it again this morning. Before I do any more work, I'll do that. So, now we've got that out of the way, got that out of my head. So basically what I decided to do is I sat down with my Cricut and I went through the Cricut files and I found some leaves. Now I wanted leaves specifically, if you're an Aussie, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's a syzygium plant, or you might know, you may not. But it's a hedging, it's a really good, big, thick leaf green hedge that you can grow. And it's called syzygium something or other. And when my husband and I, a little bit of a story while I'm just doing this mixed media work. When we bought our house back in 2007, we decided that we are not gardening people. I'll tell you straight up. I am not a gardener. I kill everything. The best I can offer my family in the sense of a garden is a pot with some flowers. That's about all I can keep alive. Or, no, I tell a lie. I've kept my jade plants alive. They're at my front door, you know, jade for prosperity. And I've managed to keep those alive as well. But technically they're in the cactus family, so, you know, they don't really take a lot of work. Anyway, so when we bought this house, we wanted, so in my previous house, which was owned by my mum and dad, we put in a hedge and it was beautiful. It was lush, it was thick, it was exactly the same plant, right? Now, fun fact, when we bought this house, we're technically only one street away from my old house. And my brother has since bought that house from my mum and dad, and it doesn't even look the same. They have done an amazing job. They've done so much work on the house. It's so good. It doesn't even look like the same place. Anyway, so when we moved into this house, I said to my husband, I said, Darren, like, right, this is what we have to do. We have to get rid of the rock garden thing and the one rose and the hibiscus plant and the fig tree. Like, it was just the most insane plants to have in the front yard of such a small front yard. Anyway, so we got rid of them all. Anyway, I took some photos because a friend of mine owned a dingo machine, not a dog. But anyway, so he brought it over and he let me have a go on it. And I'll tell you what, it was so much fun. And you can tell by the look on my face, I was really enjoying it. And we stripped the dodgy grass and whatnot, and we did a heap of yard work. Anyway, the funniest part of this story is this. We planted the exact same hedge, right? We're one street away from where we planted it and it was perfectly fine. It took 15 years. 15 long, ridiculous years. No, not 15. I tell a lie. Rewind. Because my daughter's only just turning 15. Yeah, actually, no, it would be. Yeah. it was only maybe 14 years. If I'm being generous, I'll say between 13 and 14 years. And that damn hedge, sorry for cursing, but this thing, it would not grow, not on your life. We planted around the fence line, right? And we trimmed it appropriately. We fertilized it. We watered it. We did everything we had to do. We tried anything and everything. And this hedge would not grow for the life of me. So that's why I chose big leafy leaves like this, right? And I love that reveal. Did you like that reveal? Just peeling them off quickly. Now, I didn't make you sit through. So I showed you there how I went through, and these are my swatches, by the way. Did you see those swatches there? They are where I was playing with the LUNAR pastes and mixed a couple of colours together, and to see what sort of colours I could make with the colours that I had. And so I've printed my title. I curved it so that I could create sort of an arched title. I like doing that every so often, and it's pretty fun. And the two metallic LUNAR paste colours that I'm using are, I have no idea because I don't have my paper in front. There it is. I used Slippery When Wet, that's the gold, and I used Fake Plant, which is the green. The Fake Plant is so, I can't scream from the rooftops loud enough. These products are amazing. I absolutely love them. They're lush, they're rich, they're creamy, they are so good. Now, I'm making this look really, really difficult because, as per usual, when I'm using a product like this, I like to just run over it while it's still got its backing there, okay? That way it doesn't get all over my mat. Unfortunately, because this stuff dries, and yesterday when I was doing this, it was like 36 degrees or something. So it dried with lightning speed. So I just had to sort of help it work its way out of the, the cut file. It is what it is. It's, it just is what it is. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's hard. Now, I have put my glue down. I use art glitter glue to glue these together. You don't need anywhere near the amount of glue that I'm putting on there. But because it was so hot, I needed to put more on because it was drying so quickly. So here I realized I left the dots to my eyes behind. And yeah, so anyway, so I chose these leaves. Now, the beginning part of this video is all about the processes. This, to me, is the fun part of scrapbooking, the part where I get to play, make my own ephemera, all that sort of stuff. And then when I pull it all together at the end and go, wow, it works, totally works. So stick with me. I'm showing you, in the beginning, I wanted to show you how you can use multiple inks to get like a dappled leaf effect. You don't have to be, there's no secret to it other than the fact that I used brushes, and I used my fine brush to get a little bit of dark or a little bit of bright in different places, because we know when plants grow, obviously you have the fresh new little leaves that pop up and they're a lighter green, and then as they get older they sort of get a darker green, and then when they fall on the ground they're brown. So that's kind of where I was going. Now, this wood background I got from the Craft Consortium Wood Textures paper pad, and I chose a really fine wood background purely so that you saw enough of it to realize what it was. If I had used really wide planks, it would have looked a little bit funny. So although I did think about using the one that had green on it, because I thought that might blend in really well, but it's okay. It works. I got it to work and I was really, really happy with it. Now, this I did have to, in my mind, I was thinking to myself, if I put my title down first, how am I going to tuck the leaves in and around it? I was also thinking, do I want to raise up my title? Do I want this to just go? I wanted the leaves to be really thick and full, like when you're looking at a hedge, and just having the title sort of pop out of it. So I started having a bit of a play, and this is me just sort of seeing if it's going to actually work. And I realised that it's going to. So this is where I move the title back out of the way. I've already traced around the bottom of where the title is going to go, right? So I've got a little bit of a guide there as to where to go with it. Now I'm popping the brown ones more underneath purely because just to give the green leaves something to pop off, if that makes sense. I was thinking about adding a little bit of a green or brown background across the arch behind the title. But once I started putting these down, I realized that they're so full, and these leaves are, you'd swear these are the actual leaves that were on the hedge, because that's how full they are and how chunky they are. Now I am gluing down the title now. I know you're probably thinking, but how are you going to do it? All I've done is I've put a line of glue behind the title. So just through the center. So the top and the bottom part, I can still slip things behind it and you can still see the title. So it totally works. I know this is sped up, but if I didn't speed it up, you guys would just start clicking off and not watching it. So, you can see it all coming together, and I was just basically trying to, initially I was thinking of doing a full circle and having my photos in the center, but I printed these photos a little while ago, and at that point I was enjoying using a 4x4 photo, and so these ones are a little bit larger. Even though I overlap them, they're still a little bit on the large side to have a full circle, and I didn't really want to reprint them because that's just wasteful. So I went, no, we'll just make it work. We'll run with a half circle and we'll see where we go from there. So I think it's working. At this point, yes, it's going off the edge. Don't panic. We fixed that at the end. But this really come together. Now I got my leaves. If you've got a die, go for it. Use a die. If you've got a Cricut or an electronic cutting machine, be it a Silhouette, a Brother Scan and Cut, a Cricut, any of those things, have a look through their software and you'll probably find some leaves. Now, I was actually talking to Carol the other night. Hi, Carol. And she was showing me some leaves that she had cut out using her Cricut. And that's when I remembered I had these photos sitting there. And the reason they were still sitting there is because I didn't really know where to go. So I would like to say thank you, Carol, for the inspiration to go ahead and create some leaves, because that is exactly what these photos, it totally works with these photos. And I chose different leaves to what Carol was using, but they turned out beautiful. And if you've got a Cricut, you can create something like this super easy. It's just a matter of a click. It's so simple. And all I did was duplicate so I did the leaf. I got it to the size I wanted. These ones are 2 inches by 2.1 or something like that, each little sprig of leaves. And I thought if I made them too small, it would just look messy. So I ended up, the ones that Carol had done, they're more of an open leaf, whereas this one is more of a syzygium leaf. So, or a lily-pilly. I keep saying syzygium, and you probably don't. It's a lily-pilly leaf. If you're in Australia, you'll probably know what I'm talking about. It's a lily-pilly, and we use them a lot out here for hedging. They have a leaf quite similar to a gardenia, nice and rich and full. And yeah, so it's pretty good. I look, my first hedge that I made out of that was the bomb.com. It was so pretty. It was gorgeous. It was thick and full and lush. I loved it. But this one that took about 13 years of growth, and it still was sparse. It was still twiggy. It was terrible. It was awful. When we realised, so when these photos were taken, this was back in 2008, when we took these photos. We've recently, my father, he owns an earth moving business, and it's just a small, him and my brother, and they've got excavators and bobcats and all that sort of stuff. And they came over and they helped us redo our fence, put in a retaining wall, brought in a heap of dirt, built up our block, blah, blah, blah. And it was at that point that we realised why the hedges weren't growing. Because when you dig down, we dug down enough to plant them, right? But when you got down just maybe another 10, 15 centimetres, 6 inches, something like that, it was just clay. It was just all clay. There was no nutrients in the soil at all. So we made the decision, because we fully returfed our yard and everything in 2020. And, there was nothing else to do in 2020. Pandemic, what else do you do? Oh, redo your whole yard. So we fully top dressed the yard, and we put lots of nutrients and all the fertilizers and all the good stuff back into the yard. And now our turf is beautiful. Our yard is stunning. Did we attempt another hedge? No. But we did put in a whole new fence, and, it's completely different now. You can't see through our fence as easily, which is good. So now I'm just having a little bit of a play. I felt like, even though I didn't want to go a full circle, I needed some leaves down the bottom so that it looked finished, because the bottom looked a bit empty. That's where I'm going to put my journaling about what I was just waffling about then. And now this is my Creative Memories oval cutting tool. This is, do you like what I just did then? Nice big rip. Didn't have the blade in there properly. Thank you so much, Bobby, for those new blades. I absolutely love them. I've still been using the really old ones, and those new ones are so good. So I just wanted to add a little something at the bottom there, and I thought, oh, I know what I could do. Just put the date down there. That'll work. So I just used a little bit of the OXIDE. Now everything that I used, I'll have listed below in the description. So all the colors that I used in the Distress Oxides, the LUNAR pastes, and the thickers, which is the Happy Life ones. And I just went across the top of them with the LUNAR paste, and this is the bonus to having the LUNAR paste, because it goes over so beautifully. And because I've still got a lot of the blue parts to these thickers, but I've worked out if you've got the LUNAR paste, you can just colour it to whatever colour you want. So, bam, I'm going to be able to use them. Woohoo! I'm pretty excited about that. So this is how my page is coming together. I hope if you've stuck it out this long, you've enjoyed it, and it's something a little bit different, and it's nice and full on, and I really like it. I'm just adding a little bit of the LUNAR paste just to the very edge of just a few of the leaves, just to add a bit of extra reflection in amongst them, to give them a bit of sort of make them look a bit wet, if that makes sense. So this is my layout, guys. I hope you've really enjoyed this. I'm just going to do my journaling really quickly on here. This is how you can see how fast I've sped it up. I do not write that fast. Now, this is my layout. I would love it if you could like, share my page, leave me a comment, subscribe. I am really pushing really hard now, because once we get to 1,500 subscribers, we're having a cash giveaway. So that is for everybody. It doesn't matter what country you're in, you're all going into the draw for it. So we just have to get up to 1,500 subscribers. If you have any way whatsoever of helping me reach that goal, I would be absolutely elated, and I can't wait to give back to you guys. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this one. Leave me a comment. Let me know. Yeah, nah, yeah. Did I get it to work or not? Thank you for watching. Chat to you soon. Bye for now.